Weekend. My name is Angela Petrilli here with my friends at Fishman for a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. Today's episode is pre-recorded. We lost a really great one this week, Mr. Kris Kristofferson, so I want to teach one of his today. So we're going to learn Sunday Morning, Comin Down, such a beautiful poetic song. We're learning this one today. So have your acoustic guitar in standard tuning with a capo at the second fret. This is such a beautiful song, and it's just such an honor to teach this one. It's been one of my favorites since I can remember. It's just such a beautiful song. So such an honor to teach this one today. As always, if you guys are enjoying the lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really does help the cause. And if you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear that I use in these lessons, including the RS Spectrum DI, you can go ahead and click the link in the video description below. And while you're there, I just started a Patreon page. So would love if you joined us there. It's a beautiful extension of what we do here on the Riff Rundown. So having said that, you guys know I like to ask a question before we get started with the lesson. So please let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite Kris song. So where are you tuning in from? Favorite Kris song. Again, such an honor to teach this one today. Acoustic guitar, standard tuning, capo at the second fret. Here we go. Here's Sunday Morning Comin Down by the awesome and amazing Kris Kristofferson. Such a beautiful song. Let's go ahead and get to it. So again, capo on the second fret. We want to make sure the capo is nice and straight. Okay, so that everything sounds nice and in pitch. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start off with the intro. We're going to go into a verse and then immediately into verse 2. I want you to know that verse 1 and verse 2, slightly different, and then we're going to go into the chorus. So those are the parts of the song today. So with that intro. I'm going to play this a little bit slower than I did at the top. This song is already very slow, very pensive, very beautiful, very poetic. So really take your time here. And I've noticed when Kris would play this live, sometimes he even played it just with his thumb, right? And he's just strumming the guitar with his thumb. Or he can choose to use a pick, so I'll leave that up to you. So here's that intro, just a little bit slower. Okay, just playing between a G and a G sus4 chord. So here's how we're going to play the G chord today. So we're going to get our third finger here on the 3rd fret of that E string. Okay, and then our pinky finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the high E string. We're going to strum all 6 strings. Now notice when we do it this way, this A string is naturally muted. This is something that we want. That's okay, because in a G chord we have a G, B, and D note. There's no A note there. Okay, so totally all right that that A note is, or that A string rather, is muted. So just like that, that's what we want. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to strike the low E string. We're going to strum the bottom 3 strings, just like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that low E string, and then we're going to play the D string, G string, and B string. So it sounds like this when we put it all together. From there, we're going to build into that G sus chord. So what we're going to do here, open D string, and with your 2nd finger, hammer on to the 2nd fret of that D string. From there, I want you to get your 1st finger, placing that on the 1st fret of the B string and strumming the G string and that D string too. And that's the end of the phrase. So I will play that nice and slowly, the entire thing. And this is the intro, and it happens twice. Let's play it a couple more times. So here we go. And then repeat. Just like that. Let's do it a little faster now. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there in that intro. Really great use of all 4 fingers here on our fretted hands. It's really great. So what we're going to do next is now we're going to go into the verse. Now, something to keep in mind for this entire song, for all of those verses, we want to be very, very gentle. The words, we really want the words to come through on this song. All right, so really pensive, nice and light when we're strumming this. We're not strumming very hard until we get into that chorus. So really gentle strumming. Okay, again, if you want to use your thumb, great. If you want to use a pick, it's awesome too. Okay, so that verse we're going to do here. So we're going to, again, play that G chord in this way, striking the low E string. Okay, and then the rest of the chord in this fashion. We're going to play that open D string and then strum those bottom 3 strings. So it sounds like this. We're going to do that 2 times. So here we go. And then a nice, if you want to do like a transitional kind of up-down stroke before we get into the next chord, which is C, totally cool to do that too. So I'll play that again. And again, notice, nice and light with that pick. From there, we're going to go to our C chord, all right? So with the C chord, we're going to use our first finger on the first fret of the B string, again in accordance to the capo. We are capoed at the second fret. Second finger on the second fret of the D string, and third finger on the third fret of the A string in accordance to the capo. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to play the A string, the open G, or the open G string, and then play the rest of the chord. D string, G string, B string. So we've got. Now, if you happen to hit that second fret of the D string here, totally cool too. Both will sound beautiful. Even if you want to interchange between the two, also very lovely. Okay, so we again do that twice. And if you want to do those passing kind of upstroke, I encourage you to do it. Sounds great. Just like that. Let's combine it with G at the top. Here we go. To C. And then back to our intro phrase, 2 times. Just like that. From there, we go to the next part of the verse, and it's going to be G, just like we did a moment ago. Except this time, we're going to do a walk down to E minor. So check this out. We're going to move that G note. So we've got G, now to F sharp. Place your second finger on that F sharp, second fret of the E string in accordance to the capo, to the open E string. That's our walk down from G to E minor. So as you're doing that walk down, play that open E string, and as you do it, bring that second finger down, bring it to the second fret of the A string, and then your third finger on the second fret of the D string. So there's your E minor chord right there. So what we do from there, we're going to play that second fret of the D string, and play the rest of that E minor chord, G string, B string, high E string. And then same thing again, open E string, second fret D string, and then bottom 3 strings. So in context with the G chord, it sounds like this. Okay. From there, we're going to go to D major, and here's how we're going to play this section. So what we do there, our D chord, we're going to use these first 3 fingers. First finger on the second fret of the G string in accordance to the capo. Third finger goes on the third fret of the B string in accordance to the capo, and then second finger, second fret of the high E string in accordance to that capo. Okay? We're going to strike the open D string. We're going to strike the G string, and then strum that triad. Okay, G string, B string, high E string. We're going to strum that chord 1 time, so it sounds like this. Just like that. From there, we're going to strum it another time. Okay, so we've got this. In 2 downward strokes, okay? From there, we're going to play a D sus2. All that is, second finger, lift it up. So instead of playing that second fret of the high E string, we're playing it open. Hear that? Hear how it's different? Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. So what we're going to do, after the 2 downward strums of the D chord, lift that second finger, D sus2, hammer it back on to play the D chord, and you're going to do that one more time. And then you're going to strum the D chord again. So in context, it sounds like this. So let's do that again. D sus. that is the first half of verse 1. So let's go ahead and play through that again. Here we go. So from there, we're going to repeat G to C and then back to G. So that will sound like this, second half of verse 1. After that G chord, we're going to do next, we're going to walk it back down to E minor. And how we're going to strum it is like this. We do the walk down, G, F sharp, open E string, striking second fret of the D string, and then 2 downward strokes on the open G, B, and high E string. Give it a little bit of a rest, strike that triad again, where your third finger is. Strike that note, and then play it open. We're walking up to C. I'll show you what I mean. Here's how it sounds. From G for context. Okay? So, from that C chord, we're going to strike 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, okay? Strum the C chord, D, G, and B string. Repeat that twice. From there, we're doing another walk down from C, this time to A minor. So 3rd fret of the A string to 2nd fret, play that with your 2nd finger, and then open A string, just like that. From there, we're going to go to A minor. So we have our A minor here, 1st finger, 1st fret of the B string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the D string, 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the G string. What we're going to do here, we're now going to strike the 2nd fret of that D string, and 2 downward strokes on the rest of the chord, G string, B string, and high E string. Just like that. So here's the walk down from C. Okay, and from there we go back to that D figure that we did a moment ago. And that's verse 1. So let's go ahead and play through verse 1. Here we go. So right there, that's verse 1. Now verse 2 is going to be slightly different. Okay? Where it's a little different, so I'll show you. So I'm going to play through it. So we have verse 2 starts with G to C to G with that figure from the intro. So here's the first part of verse 1, or verse 2 rather. C, to our G major intro, to G, E minor, to D major, to G, to C, to G, E minor, now here's where it's different. We're still going to do that walk up to C, the walk down to A minor. Then we're going to walk back up to C. So that's where the variation is. It sounds like this. Really great use of those fingers and building up our dexterity. All right, so we have C major, okay, A string, D string, strum D string, G string, and B string of the C chord. Now we're going back down. C note in accordance with the capo. Going to the second fret of the A string, open A string. Arpeggiate that chord. So open A string, D string. Strum that A minor chord. Okay, so like this. High E string is optional. If it were me, I probably wouldn't play it. From there, we're walking back up to C. How we do that? Second finger, second fret of the A string. Third finger plays the third fret of the A string, which lines us up very nicely to play that C chord. And we're going to arpeggiate it the same way. A string, D string, strum. Okay, so let's do that phrase again. From there, we're going to go to D major, strum the open D string, play the G string, strum the whole chord. Okay, and from there, we go to G. We're just going to strum it very gingerly, very lightly. Hit the low bass note. Nice and light. Okay, so I'm going to play through the whole verse 2. Here we go, and I'll call out the chords. And again, if you're enjoying the lessons, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really does help the cause. And while you're there, check out all the cool Fishman Gary is in these lessons too. So here we go, verse 2. To G, to C, back to G, E minor, C, A minor, that leads us into our chorus. So now we've got our chorus here. This is where things get a little bit bigger, all right? So we're going to start off with a C chord, G chord, D chord, back to G. So C, G, D, G, okay? Sounds like this. We're going to repeat all this twice. So here's the chorus, C. To G. To D major. G. We're going to repeat that. C, get to that last G of the chorus, we're going to turn it into that intro phrase. Why am I having trouble with phrase today? Intro phrase with that G to G sus. Sounds like this. Okay. From there, we're going to go into verse 3, same exact chords as verse 2. So let's go ahead and play them. Verse 3, here we go. And again, we're back to being very ginger and very, very pensive, okay? So we're bringing down the dynamics. Intro phrase. To G. Now chorus 2, here we go. C chord. Build up the dynamics of the strumming. Gonna repeat that. Our C chord. Back to G. So D major. Intro phrase, here we go. Really beautiful stuff. From there, we go back into a chorus and we fade that out. This is such a beautiful, beautiful song, and this has been just a favorite of mine. I remember listening to this song a ton as a kid, and it's just such an honor to teach this song, and how lovely for us that we lived at the same time that Kris Kristofferson did. And just, again, if you're not familiar with his music, go and listen to the songs that he wrote. Just an incredible catalog and just really beautiful music. So again, just such an honor to teach this one, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It's such a beautiful song, and again, has some very lovely technique. You know, with those suspended chords and, you know, arpeggiating those chords. I encourage you, watch some live versions of Kris playing this. Very, very pensive. There's one thing I want you to take away from this is the use of dynamics. So when you're strumming those verses, be very, very light and get bigger in those choruses when you're strumming, again, the C, G, and D chords. So have fun with this one. Again, I want to thank my friends at Fishman for helping me do these lessons week after week, and most certainly I want to thank all of you. Thank you for watching these lessons and for being so kind to one another in the comments. We are all students of music, including myself, perpetual students, and you know, we're always learning. We're always learning, and we're all students. We're all students. So again, enjoy, have fun, play a lot of music this weekend. Again, such an honor to be here week after week, and best of luck. And I will.